Peace, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to Israel Doctrines Google Hangout. I'm your host, Carl Labert, and you have now entered into our Hangout. And this one is entitled Poppy Hassan Campbell, called Minister Louis Farrakhan a hypocrite and claim he support homosexuality. Now, as y'all know, I didn't come up with that title. Maybe y'all don't know. But this was a title that the young brother by the name of Ben X came up with to address Hassan Campbell. And I just want to go back in time because a lot of attacks on the Minister Louis Farrakhan is taking place. But I always like to go back to the source of things and what things started from, because it's always a small buildup that people miss. And when they miss the buildup, they miss what's going on. Now, as y'all know, we've been talking this BIE, Black Identity Extremist stuff, a lot over here. Actually, we was ahead of the BIE, Black Identity Extremist paperwork by some months. I did a lecture in Chicago at the Hard Rock Hotel entitled The Profiling and Stalking of the Israelite Male, which anybody that spent some time listening to people in America that claim that they're Israelites, they're mostly of the African American, Negro colored, diaspora, you know. Simple as that. The black in America, the black man. So this came about when dealing with Christian apologists that had been attacking Hebrew Israelites or black Hebrew Israelites, which I never claimed to be such, but you know, a black nationalist type organization, black Hebrew Israelites, or just Israelites in general. You can span all three of them across that grid, right? And so in this attacking, you know, I'm always taking up for the word of God from the Israelite perspective, not Hebrew Israelite perspective, but Israelite perspective. I started getting attacked, and I was being called extreme and everything with my views on the Bible and stuff. And you know, it was like, I can hear or see that undercover One West doctrine in you. So that had my radar up. Then, as I've been dealing with a lot over here, you know, the Caucasian looking Arab dude by the name of Basim, who I believe is a Navy informant, and Sinetta TV, they had the most of the Hebrew Israelite community on their platforms spreading this Hebrew Israelite doctrine, teaching, ideology, or whatever. And so I started talking about how they was using these people on their platforms and help pushing, you know, this race-based doctrine, not race-based doctrine, you know, causing, you know, tensions to get high, and for people like the Christian apologetics to go at it and stuff. Now, like I said, that's what basically led me to do that lecture with the brother Mikael Ben Israel. He dealt with unapologetically Israel. So we did that, and then months later, the BIE thing came out. Now, the BIE thing, though, was always talked about, like I said, unbeknown, not under that title, but just the spirit, the climate that was being created. We was dealing with it because if you don't know, I say the conscious community is the BIE, Black Identity Extremist community, right? With the different individuals in there, from Segment to Professor Griff and even King Noble, you know, Segment King Noble called for actions against the police, right? Both of them got picked up by the police. Segment more, you know, duly noted, seeing that you know, hers was more high profile. King Nobles made it on Alex Jones, but didn't really go that far. But anyway, Professor Griff ended up in the picture with Michael X. Johnson, right? As Dr. James Small took the picture. So all these different individuals and stuff in the conscious community is what helped them create their account or identity extremist movement conversation, sovereignty movement conversation, right? A couple more individuals and stuff. You could say SETI and everything. You know, over time, people. So eventually, this Afrika Bambaataa thing made it to, and Hassan Campbell, Poppy Hassan Campbell, the one that called out Minister Louis Farrakhan, was one of the gentlemen that was noted as a victim of Afrika Bambaataa. Now, his victimizing took place 20 some odd years or so before he came out. Another one, Ron Savage, came out. His victimizing took place some odd years, pretty much the same or a little bit more. But really the story broke with Khalil Money, Star in the Morning, Star Chamber, and Everyday Struggle now. Star and Buck Wild is what he probably most known for. The story broke about Bambaataa being gay and date raping a young Hispanic boy. April the 1st, 2013. That's really the story that kicked it all off. Then came Ron Savage, and then came Hassan Campbell. Ron Savage by publishing a book talking about the situation. Hassan Campbell by publishing a Facebook video talking about the situation. Still out the Ron. Then Ron comes out to Star. Then Star plays Hassan video. And now he's been thrust forth as a Zulu boss into the community, gangster thug, real nigga, somebody you don't want to fuck with. Now he kind of hating, you know, his thug, HT we'll call it, persona. If you know what the HT stand for, is basically an acronym for, you know, one of them is thug, the other one you can figure out on your own. It has something to do with homosexual though. So with this, Hassan comes in the community. He calls out a bunch of names. Minister Louis Farrakhan is one of them. He said Farrakhan has embraced the homosexual, support the homosexual due to integration of the Million Man March, Justice Else, and all the others that he allowed people to come to the stage due to the fact that he embraced Afrika Bambaataa, who molested, which is same gender molestation, which molested him once upon a time, had a relationship sexually with him once upon a time, that, you know, Farrakhan embraced him. Eddie Long, claims of Elijah Muhammad being a pedophile, and Farrakhan, you know, accepting him. Who else? Countless of others that he named, 2 or 3 or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, he named a lot of people. So he claims Farrakhan was a hypocrite and that he support homosexuality. Now, in this exchange, it brought about Sadnetta. Now on Sadnetta TV, somehow or another, he got in touch with Ben Next to overhype the situation as he normally do with issues in the community and trying to have a debate and make a buck off of it or this and that, instead of having discourse and dealing with things to better situations in the community. He tend to see these things as an economic opportunity because people have discourse in the community, which it could be, but still, if you don't have the proper mindset and heart to bring about the discourse and to really try to rectify problems and do it in a righteous, spiritual manner, it could go haywire. And that's pretty much what this first conversation that came about through Hassan Campbell has caused in the community, right? Not to mention, as he say, some young lady keeps a battery in his backpack. That's the reason he moved like that. Some young lady that she's having a conversation herself and he's trying to usurp her conversation and steal her conversation, right? He don't tell you that. But yes, this the same young lady he said, you know, hyped him up to attack Tommy Sotomayor with him being a pedophile and that, you know, he was in the shower with his 8-year-old daughter with his slung hanging in front of his daughter and all of that. See, bringing the Bambaataa pedophilia, homosexual pedophilia, same gender pedophilia conversation to the community is what then birthed this situation, is what I'm trying to show y'all. And not dealing with that is only causing more and more ripples in the community with other people, Black nationalist organizations and everything. And it's just going to trickle and keep trickling and trickling. And it's going to have a trickle effect until everybody is destroyed because of this shit. But let's keep moving with the trickle effect. And y'all know me. I'm down with the trickle effect and how it works. So I'm a strong opponent, a component, whichever one I can't which one agree. But anyway, not opponent, but component of the trickle effect, right? So the shit trickling. So Sarnetta brings Ben X into the picture after Ben makes a video or whatever. However he got there, I can't remember straight off. He can tell you the story one day. It's a historical story. But anyway, he brings him in. He try to have him and Hassan Campbell debate this situation. That Minister Louis Farrakhan is a hypocrite and he support homosexuality. Now, let me show you contrast and compare these two situations, right? When Hassan Campbell went at Tommy Sotomayor lashed back and rebuttal. His rebuttal was one of the most degrading, heartless, non-caring rebuttal to Hassan Campbell to that date. He was like, nigga, you homosexual, you Bambaataa this, and ooh, man, he just ripped them apart. But nobody had, to that point, disrespected the man to that degree. Nobody had did it. But what it did is it opened the door for others to start disrespecting him and talking about his sexual orientation and everything else, like we hear and see on the internet today. The new channels and millions of people that's jumping on this topic now and really making videos with him and lipstick and all of this stuff and Hannibal Lecter pictures and things of that nature. You know, they was birthed that day, pretty much. because it opened the door. As we know in America from growing up, they called it Pandora box. When you open Pandora box, you never know what'll come out of it. Well, it's the same situation with the minister Louis Farrakhan, the head of the Nation of Islam. When Hassan opened this Pandora box, you see the results of it now, right? Because it's been the build up or trickle down effect ever since. That's why I said, let's go back to the beginning and see where these attacks and the NOI being very vigilant now and listening and watching and looking at things very suspect from the time he opened that box to now. So what I want to do is I want to go back and listen to the brother Ben X address this, right? And since that time, he done doubled down and said, hey, at the end of the day, he ain't taking nothing back, that Farrakhan owed him an apology. He not young Pharaoh. Because what he did is open the door for young Pharaoh, who he claimed would rather sleep with Afrika Bambaataa than a nice sister Big Mo, Melanin Sutek, who has big breasts, big thighs, and everything else that the black woman possess. He said young Pharaoh would rather sleep with Bambaataa than this sister. See, this guy entering into our community, whether if he worked for them people or not, because when he came into the community, this is what was stated by Brother Shep. I believe his name, the former Black Panther dude, that said y'all are agents and y'all working with them people, which would denote a form of BIE, Black Identity Extremists, agents, agent provocateurs or whatever shape, form, or, you know, operatives or whatever, right? Now, this is before, once again, the Black Identity Extremist terminology hit these YouTube streets or hit the public, the streets in general, and people was looking at extremism and this and that and the attack on black leadership. Lambada, Farrakhan, General Yohana, or whoever black and has a black nationalist type, sovereign type organization. You know what I'm saying? The Moore Science Temple, this, that, and everything else. All this stuff is about to come out and be birthed. But at the same time that it's about to be birthed, the main story that hit the community and had a trickle down effect, because the community has never tried to deal with this thing properly, and it's going on 5 years now. It's been in the community since 2016, April the 11th, 2016, to be exact. Is when Hassan Campbell emerged on Star Chambers and got busy with participating in the community. That's what was denoted or stated. But prior to that, he had been in the community since the Kemen on trial days, but we didn't know that until somebody spotted him on video and released the information. So he's been in the community prior, around your Hebrew Israelites and your Comedics, your polite and your, like I said, other Hebrew Israelite fashions. I guess that day you had Divine Prospect, Daniela, Zion, Lex, Nasi Yashavel, who else? General Hashar, who else was there? Daniela. All of these people was on the Kemen on trial thing. The GOCC, Gabar, all these people was there. So he was at a so-called black national, that's the way I see it, a black national event where they was debating or they was putting Kemet on trial. African theological system. They was putting it on trial, and it was being put on trial by another African theological system, basically what the Christian apologetics call Hebrewisms or Hebrew Israelitisms, however they do it. But they damn near is setting a precedent with the Southern Poverty Law Center to create a profile for the Hebrew Israelite or the Israelite male and profile them as a domestic terrorist, same way that the black identity extremists label step is the same, a domestic terrorist, black domestic terrorism, right? So now let's get back to the stem of this, people attacking Louis Farrakhan, the minister Louis Farrakhan, head of the NOI, Nation of Islam.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to the Brother Ben X Show. Today I'm going to address Poppy, who spoke out against the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and as always, and as usual, with several lies. Poppy recently had an interview with Brother Sarnetta on Sarnetta Studios, well, on Black News 102. Before I get into this, I want to shout out to Brother Sarnetta because he's always defending the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Now, he's not always did it. And his platform has been a platform, once again, to make money off of disputes and viewpoints that differ from the Nation of Islam, right? Wesley Muhammad was over there participating. He basically stopped dealing with him because he said, y'all just some, what's the term he started calling them? Ghetto scholarship or whatever. Y'all just deal with ghetto scholarship, this, that, and the other. And you don't handle your debates and stuff in a proper manner. Y'all full of ignorant shit, basically. So Wesley stopped dealing with him and dealing with the platform as much as possible, right? Especially debating and stuff. He's been in videos and stuff, once again, with James Small and things of that nature. But he pretty much cut his ties with debating them and dealing with them with Islam and how they perceive it and things of that, with attacks from Shaka Utmost and different people, right? So you have Philip Muhammad that used to go over there and deal with him. I ain't seen Philip Muhammad on Facebook or nowhere around. I think that's his name. I ain't seen his name in a minute. It's F something Muhammad. I think it's Philip Muhammad. They had their ties with Nori Muhammad, in which they done dealt with him a little bit. But that platform has not been one that the brother Ben is saying, one that always defend the Nation of Islam. I mean, it's just like when he need to say he had feet on the ground or boots on the ground, he pull out old Khalid Abdul Muhammad stuff and say, well, see, I ran with him. But it's like, well, what protests or activism spots have you been at since then? At best, you can find him on camera going at some Caucasian European guy running for office in Harlem somewhere, and calling people coons and stuff because they didn't agree with his, race bait once again. So we're gonna start this over because that was a blunder on this brother part, for as I'm concerned. But let's listen.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome back to the Brother Ben X Show. Today I'm going to address Poppy, who spoke out against the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and as always, and as usual, with several lies. Poppy recently had an interview with Brother Sinetta on Sinetta Studios, well, on Black News 102. Before I get into this, I want to shout out to Brother Sinetta, because he's always defending the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is not that it's biased. It's not that he just likes some of the stuff they do. He's defending it in truth. The lies about Malcolm X, the lies about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the so-called young girls, the lies about the minister not doing anything. He always stands firm and defends it, because most of it is, well, all of it really is lies. So
he allowed for debates to go on where Farrakhan Muhammad, what I said, Philip. Okay, I told y'all when I get two letters together, I could get confused sometimes. Farrakhan and Philip is two different, but I'm trying to make sure. But Farrakhan being a Caucasian, this, that, and the other, and all of these different stuff with Natural Tahuti, who's currently locked up in some prison somewhere and doesn't get any love or any shout outs anymore because they don't want to be affiliated with him, someone that's locked up, so on and so forth, you know. But Natural Tahuti, who was most definitely with Sarasu Seti, some of the first people to really push the raise the bar against the attacks on the Nation of Islam once again. See, it's always a start. You're like, hold up, man. You say your leg is gangrene. How did it happen? So you stepped on a nail, or you hit it on the edge of the couch, it got affected. You got to go back to the starting point where the problem begins. And to tell the truth, the problem would begin with Sinetta, who attacked all the Abrahamic faiths in the community, all the Abrahamic theologies in the community, make his best money off of the Christian or Israelite, which is one and the same. The first Christians were Israelites when you go to Acts 11 and 26, I believe. So keeping those divisions and things up has been very economic wise, shit, prospering when it comes to Sinetta or whatever. So let's keep listening. But see, I don't know how much our young brother know about all this stuff. I don't know if he talked to Philip or Wesley or any Honori or whatever and asked them, how should I deal with, you know what I'm saying, you know, the different terms, filthy Frank, snake, and all of this. How do I deal with this brother? Y'all done dealt with him. How should I deal with this brother and his platform and stuff, right? I don't think he went and got counseling from the elders that done dealt with him before, but he found his way over there. And from the exchange or allowing Poppy to do those things on this platform and not telling them, hold up, man, you can't diss that man on my platform, like he was trying to diss my mother when Sinetta threw his arms up like, damn, you're not going to apologize for talking about digging up the man's mother, but then you're going to double down on my show. What the fuck, you know? But he did the same thing. He attacked Farrakhan in that same show. And this was on Sinetta's platform, Black News 102, as the brother said.
So let's get into what Poppy said. Poppy said that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a hypocrite. Check out the video.
And this ain't really me taking a shot at Farrakhan, but at the same time it is. Farrakhan had 1 million man march twice, but over 1 million people came out there. But the last one, all he did was give room and praise to homosexuality on his Obama agenda. And now we all know that you against homosexuality, and the majority of the RBGs is against homosexuality. It's slant. It's all the way. against homosexuality. The Bible is all the way against homosexuality. In Old Testament, in New Testament, it says, if you catch them in the act, the giver and the receiver, to kill both of them. To kill both of them. The Quran in Hadith says, if you catch a man with another man or a woman with another woman, take them to the highest mountain, throw them off. So Louis Farrakhan, according to the Bible and the Quran, is a hypocrite. And I can use his book, the Quran, and the Bible to prove he's a hypocrite.
So he talked about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan being a hypocrite because of he supports homosexuality. Number one, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has never supported homosexuality.
So now you see, that's the start right there. Not to mention when people bring up the man Sarnetta put boots on the ground with, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Not to mention people bringing him up. Not to mention Malik Zulu Shabazz and him about to drop this book and all of that stuff. We ain't even got there. Before all these tensions and stuff arose, which probably over-exaggerated due to the fact that others had been attacking the minister. And then they saying the Jews are attacking the minister now. But these attacks from other black people, starting with Hassan Campbell here. Now, if you can find somebody before that, then you show me. But starting with him, open this door up to probably even allowing the Jews to say, yeah, we gonna get at Farrakhan ass too then. His own people is attacking him now. He's open and he's vulnerable for attacks. Now, y'all might say, oh, nigga, you just hating that dude because he said he gonna dig up your mother and all of this. No. All these are legitimate complaints and statements due to the fact that when he came in the community, different people said they didn't want to have anything to do with him because he was working with the government. The brother Shep, I believe, the Black Panther dude, said that. He even told Star, don't be sending me stuff over the internet, sending me some government virus and trying to hack into my computer and stuff. And I believe Poppy said that Farrakhan said the same thing when he first started addressing this, when even Ali Muhammad was saying, well, we need to reach out to the minister and stuff because we got people that's heated on both sides and it might be deaf and this and that. And we know Farrakhan has been the peacemaker to bring the East and the West and different rappers and stuff together and squash stuff. But he took it as the minister showing disrespect and being a hypocrite and being loyal to a pedophile, a homosexual pedophile by the name of Bambaataa, and start attacking the man. Not trying to find a way by going to a mosque or calling some other student minister teacher and trying to find a way to sit down or meet Farrakhan, bang at his door, sit out in front of his, you know what I'm saying, one of his buildings, a mosque or something, till he could talk to him. But he went and attacked them public. Now, this is just on Sarnetta. He had numerous of videos attacking them before that on his own channel. But being it's addressing them, let's listen on.
As he has said, his mission is to save all black people. He said he loves all black people.
And I think it's a known fact that quite a few of the people who have been brought to the Nation of Islam have discovered their righteousness while incarcerated in a prison. And one of the things that most
now, what do we have in the prison? We have the homo thug of the prison sex culture, where men is having sex with men, it's gumps and stuff, whatever, you know, all the different slang for it and stuff, and prison and stuff. So a lot of members of the Nation of Islam now could have been people in there that was practicing those type of lifestyles and stuff. And as the Quran, the Bible, and different people that deal with them will say, those books can help one change their sexual preference. So now, once again, do you give the homosexual opportunity to repent and turn from that lifestyle? Just like any sexual deviancy that one would commit in life. If you commit an adultery, you commit a sexual sin, a deviancy, just like one that's sleeping with a man with man and woman with woman. Now, we know that the Bible do use the term abomination attached to bestiality, sleeping with relatives close to you and things of that nature, but it's still a sexual deviancy, something that you're doing, which is a transgression against the law that you shouldn't be doing, that you got to repent from. Do everybody get a chance to repent? Well, you might want to give them a minute to pray and a second to die. At least give them a minute to pray and repent and ask the Lord to forgive them of their deviancy before you kill them. That's if you find somebody sleeping with your wife or your husband, a man, or whatever deviancy you find them in that may want to cause, you might want to cause death to come about. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how much it grieves your spirit or whatever. But let's go on.
Males, and now I understand from the news that's coming out, a lot of females have to deal with is homosexual relations in prisons. How can they serve the Nation of Islam? And does the fact that a man is a homosexual have anything to do that would negate his coming into the nation and being dealt with by the Nation of Islam?
So now it's talking about prison culture and how Islam is a strong principality within the prison systems, right? So you heard the man question. Let's listen to the man's answer. The man being Louis Farrakhan, Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Let me say this, my dear brother, and to you and our viewing audience. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been raised up by Allah not to condemn our people, but to reclaim the fallen black man of America. No matter what we are engaged in now, we can be changed from that state into a better state. And for us to say that we will take this one but leave this one off, who are we to pass that kind of judgment on our brothers and sisters? We know the question should be asked, whence came this perversion or this deviation?
Which came this perversion of deviation, right? So now, even Hassan himself, which is a fucking hypocrite, stated that he forgave Bambaataa when he said he was sorry. And said he was lying, saying he was, when he did the news conference with the independent people with Young Pharaoh out there and Irritated Zini Tazariak and all them people, Young Marcus and all of them people that was out there, they Star and all Doggy and all of these different people. He said on the mic, and all of y'all are witness to it if you was there in a person and heard the fucking video. He said if the man would just go to therapy with him, he will forgive him again for all the pedophilia, pederasty that he was committing through Bronx River projects. So if Farrakhan say, Brother Bambaataa, I've heard what you did to the children in Bronx River and stuff, but brother, if you would turn back to Allah, or truly turn to Allah, as you done took your shahada and blah, 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 the blah, the blah, the blah, fucking blah, and repent, I, the Minister Louis Farrakhan, will forgive you, because it's of Allah, Islam, to forgive you, as fucking Hassan done said. Why the fuck would he attack this man in the manner that he's been attacking him? But see, y'all just said, oh, God, you just want to start some shit because he said some shit about digging up your mother. No, he said that once I showed his hypocrisy and his conspiracy with Bambaataa and everything else, because I analyze all situations and anything that comes before me. So I won't be a damn fool to follow blindly any damn things that's set before me. Now you tell me if that ain't hypocrisy and that nigga didn't start this goddamn trickle down effect that it took place from young Pharaoh to me, this whole thing with Malik and everything. And Malik, Zulu Shabazz, shit might not even have been that out of bounds or seen that way if the previous attack of Hassan and young Pharaoh and the Jews hadn't caused them to be somewhat paranoid of the shit that's going on. Hold up, why everybody attacking the minister all of a sudden? There are defenders of Farrakhan. They used to have a blog talk show. Ask me how I know, because I didn't ended up over there and shit that went on and stuff and everything. And I was in the midst of a big Sidnetta, Malik and Wesley and I done been in the middle of some Nation of Islam shit where I'm like, oh look, don't put it on me. That's why I tell people now, I know who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. And when to pick my fights and when not to pick my fights. You know what I'm saying? So let's play on, player.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has caused us to see and understand that when Allah created this universe, He created everything in the universe to obey a law. The sun obeys the law under which it is created, the moon, the stars. This planet, Earth, obeys the law of its creation. And what we see in the creation is that no creature deviates from the law under which it is created. The planet moves in its orbit, not disobeying the law one fraction of a second. So teaches Messenger Muhammad, and the astronomers can bear him witness. I don't care where you find an ant on the planet, a bee, a bird, a fowl, fish, they all obey the nature in which they're created. Man is not created to deviate from a certain nature in which he's created. The planet Earth is created to incline to the plane of its orbit 23 degrees, 30 minutes. The planet inclines to the plane of its orbit. This is a natural inclination or leaning. Man by nature is inclined to and leans toward the female. And the female by nature leans toward the male. Now we want to know whence came this deviation.
Whence came this deviation in this perversion? Some sick person one day opened Pandora's box and committed some sodomy. Now, sodomy ain't nothing new. It started on the plains of Africa. Black people been into sodomy long before we made it to America. The Bible even let you know of that. Sodom and Gomorrah, Africa. Sodom and Gomorrah, that's in Africa. It wasn't in Europe. It wasn't in America. It was in Africa, on that continent. Just to give you a little insight information if you don't know. Now you know.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has said to us that it was not until a made man came to our planet, a man that was made 6,000 years ago.
Now see, you know, I deal with the Bible, Adam and Eve and stuff. I don't know if the Quran said there's a made man 6,000 years ago by the name of white man or pale devil or this. I don't get into that. Like I said, to me, the Bible deal with nationalism. When you go to Genesis 10, it say 3 sons had sons, and all these sons was nations, different tongues, different lands. I don't see it say race and all of this. That's a newly constructive paradigm constructed by white supremacy, as they like to say. So I don't use it, and I don't agree with any form of the usage of it.
Made from the original man, but made opposite to the nature of the original, made to deviate from the natural way of God and man, made an opposer of the natural way. So naturally, if a man is an opposer of a natural way and deviates from the natural course, his whole lifestyle will be a lifestyle of deviation. Listen very carefully. The Bible says he changed the truth of God into a lie. And when you pervert the truth of God and make it a lie, then what follows from that is a system of perversion, a system of deviation. We didn't learn this freakish behavior in Africa. You cannot find brothers in Africa.
Nah, I got it. Like I said, hey, it's just doctrinal differences to anybody from the Nation of Islam. Don't get mad with me. I deal with the KJV Bible 66. I deal with Israel doctrine. I don't deal with Islamic doctrine, this, that, and so on and so forth. So don't get mad at me for disagreeing with that. Anyway, let's move on.
Walking around with broken wrists. You don't find women in Africa running with women. We learned that behavior in our sojourn in America. So since we learned this behavior, we can unlearn this behavior. Again, there is a scripture that reads, as a man thinketh, so is he. If you make a man to think like a woman, we have seen that thought is so powerful, it projects itself totally on the man's brain, and it begins to reshape the material, so that a man who thinks like a woman, his face, his features, his movement, everything about him begins to change according to his thoughts. So the scripture says, behold, I make all things new. So we must get rid of the deviation and bring man back to the natural order in which he's created. And the only way to do that is to place in man's brain a new thought. And that new thought will bring up a new idea. And that new thought and idea will reshape the matter of the man, change the form of the man, change the expression of the man. There is no such thing as a homosexual that cannot be changed. There is no such thing as a lesbian that cannot be changed. Almighty God, Allah is here to change us all up again into a new growth and to bring us back to the natural order in which we're created.
Now, so the majority of that I have to agree with when dealing with the deviation and all of that and changing back to the natural order and all of that. Now, like I said, the race baiting and stuff, and I don't use that and never have used that. Even though I was a big time lover, admirer of Malcolm X and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of the Malcolm that said, I'm willing to be brother with anybody that's willing to be my brother, and so on and so forth, and things of that nature. Like I said, I'm a student of Black liberation theology from the Jane Cone, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King perspective, blah, blah, blah. So Let's move on.
Not just the ones that act like us, not just the one that lives like us, because he believed and we believe that we all can be redeemed. Because the same way that homosexuality is wrong, the same way that being with a man and a woman with a woman is stopping us from producing a strong nation, abortion is too. Killing your brother in the street is too. Stealing and robbing for your brother is too. Lying on your brother is too. Slandering is too. But he still tries to redeem the people. So it's easy for us to pick and choose things that we aren't personally doing, but your auntie just had an abortion. Your cousin just had an abortion. You're not making videos about them. You're not making videos about the brother who's forcing this other woman to get this abortion. That's killing the nation as well. Because the same way you brought up the scripture saying, stone these different people. Well, when Jesus came out, didn't Jesus say, let he without sin cast the first stone? Why you didn't bring that up, Poppy? That's what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is teaching us, man. Yeah, we understand that. We don't condone that. And matter of fact, I don't even understand why he's bringing up this argument, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has put Dr. Wesley even on the tour. And he has Dr. Wesley Muhammad going all over the world talking about how this being homosexual is from the white man. They have been tampering with the chemicals. They've been tampering with the weed, feminizing the black man and masculinizing the black woman. He's not saying that when you smoking, you're going to be gay. What he's saying is that it's messing with your testosterone. So Dr. Wesley Muhammad has books. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has put up the book. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has told everybody to go watch Dr. Wesley Muhammad, who's been attacking thing that the white man is doing, weaponizing the weed, making our people think that they are homosexual.
With the confessions here, you and I can understand it for what it is. A spawn of the white man's science, the black homosexual phenomenon today that has black outnumbering whites, Asians, and Hispanics as self-identified gays. That phenomenon is a spawn of white science. And in this document, we have the science laid out.
So now, this is also why Hassan Campbell is the blueprint for sexual identity extremism, a term that I came up based off of black identity extremists and black being the new gay a couple years back and everything. Because if you got blacks saying that they're LGBTQ and stuff like that, and they're part of the Black Lives Matter and this and that, and they out here and protesting and doing different things, are they just fighting for civil rights for black, or they doing it for their lesbian, gay, you know, bi, trans, and queer, add a piece sometime, pedophilia lifestyles and stuff? What are they true political aspirations when protesting and doing stuff? Now, when it comes to the incident, just like the one that just took place where the police shot down a young man, another incident to try to cause people that's black, whether they lay LGBTQ, sometime P and stuff, community or whatever, then, you know what I'm saying, when people get extreme and start dealing with that, which Hassan called himself doing the other day when talking about Jay Prince Jr., Whack 100, Tekashi, The Game, and whatever Tekashi manager name is. I put it in my video with on Israel Doctrine Reloaded. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know what I'm saying? Once again, they started off saying Poppy was a part of the government and a conspiracy to set up Bambaataa. Right? And he pretty much is the start of the attacks on Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now tell me, am I wrong? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Poppy, defend yourself. I know you don't like to call my name. I know I'll be poking at your bitch ass. But still, you know what I'm saying? You know, you made your bed, nigga. Now you got to lay in it. I tried to warn you. I tried to warn you that you was digging a ditch, but it wasn't for me. You was digging it though, and you kept digging it, and you kept saying, I'm gonna put this body in it, and I'm gonna put this person in it, and I'm gonna do this, but now you realize the ditch was for you. So if you say I'm wrong, defend yourself, brother. I don't have no problem doing that. If you say I'm doing this and pointing the people towards you for starting this whole Louis Farrakhan under attack, whether it be from the Jew, whether it be from young Pharaoh, or even them thinking Malik Zulu Shabazz is attacking them or whatever, then hell yeah, you're the prequel to all of that. Now, if you're not, prove you're not. You, Bambaataa, the stabbing of Bambaataa from that boy, April the 1st, 2013, in which you say Bambaataa put a hit out on him, as you told us on Queen Flip, episode 29. Same gender pedophilia, Afrika Bambaataa. And that situation strolled right over here and kicked this shit off with people feeling like Minister Louis Farrakhan is under attack. You okay? You say you ain't even gonna turn from it. He asked young Pharaoh to come sit down with him, or some minister, or some said come talk to the minister. He declined. Farrakhan ain't even asked to talk to you. Probably got your ass even more mad. I done been in this present. Quit crying, nigga. Do what it takes to get what you want. You say you know people. If you say you know people, make a phone call to somebody that'll make a phone call and make it happen. You a Zulu boss, nigga. Bosses make stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? Bosses make things happen. But let's go on and listen to some more of this rebel rousing against Farrakhan. But you see, Wesley is out there talking about it.
An important section in this document: experimental induction of sexual inversions in non-humans. Sexual inversion. What is a sexual inversion? Well, we can illustrate that best if you think of Young Thug and Young M.A. You got Young Thug and Young M.A. in your mind? That's sexual inversion. Sexual inversion is transgendering. So in this document, the science by which sexual inversions were produced in the laboratory and then moved out, what they call in vitro, in the lab, and then moved out in vivo, in real life, the science to doing this is laid out here.
He's not saying we're okay with how you're doing it. He says that, okay, you like that, but you can be redeemed. You can come as you are, but you cannot stay as you are. This has always been the view that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has had. Another thing, here recently last year, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan spoke at, I forgot which college it was specifically, but it was at the African Black Coalition. During that, he talked about how this isn't how God ordained us to be. This is not how God made us to be, and this is not a natural thing. This is something that's being messed with through the chemicals. They are chemically making us think that we are doing this. For example, you have these commercials, and they're telling you that if you start to feel suicidal thoughts, call the doctor. Now, what they are indirectly telling you is that these chemicals can make you think things that are not natural. These chemicals and these pills and these medicines and all this stuff that we are taking inside of our bodies, it can change us.
Wait a minute. See, the enemy, now don't run away from me. I'm not against you. I don't care what your sexual preference is. I'm your brother, not your judge. I love you. But I know the enemy doesn't. And as long as you love each other, you won't procreate. So that means there's no more black people coming. And if he can make us as men love other men, then where are you? Make you as a woman love other women. Where's the future of our people coming? We have a nation to build.
So now when you see that the Nation of Islam is considered a nation, then you understand nationalism. When he say we, putting it on a black nationalism and black people need to be building a nation, look what have you. So once again, the Nation of Islam is like one of, if not the leading black nationalist organization in our community. The only to be on the front line with people like Malcolm X right there with Martin Luther King fighting for civil rights. I didn't see the Moors there. Now, the Moorish community, if y'all had representatives back there, I didn't see the feds, and if they was there, you can point them out. But during the civil rights era, I did not see any Moor Science Temple of America people. I seen the Christian community, and I seen the Islamic community in the sense of the Nation of Islam and Martin Luther King and all the different Christian coalition that he had with him. So when it comes down to black nationalism, in which Malcolm X was speaking on, the Moors deal with Moorish nationality and nationalism. So they weren't talking black nationalism. They weren't reaching the majority of the people that start self-identifying as black and saying they proud to be black. See, people, this is what up now? You better stay out this cold. So when you got this black nationalism and stuff coming from a Malcolm X perspective and this and that, Nation of Islam perspective, man. So the point I was trying to make was black history. And this ain't even quote unquote Black History Month, but this is just our history of great generals coming through, great men coming through, whatever you want to call them, ministers, whether if they be Islamic or Christian or whatever ministers, you know what I'm saying? These are the type of things, though, we have to look at and deal with, and y'all know we deal with it over here. But let's go on.
I don't want anybody who is LGBTQ to think I'm talking down to you. We're not going.
We're going to pause it because there's engine coming through. Gonna make some noise. But see? But I'm going to say this. That if I was young Pharaoh, I'd sit down and talk to the minister. Just my opinion, he should have done it because rebel rousers in the Nation of Islam alone, not to mention the other ones that deal with Elijah Muhammad that ain't under Farrakhan. There's plenty of groups over there from the original nation. But you know what I'm saying? You gotta try to sit down with your I don't even know how to say it. You gotta try to sit down with your best, I guess, to say brother that you disagree with. If anybody can speak on the behalf and calm down different people, Farrakhan could, and say, well, the young brother apologized, blah, 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 blah. Hey, that'll smooth the tensions over. You don't want no person in the nation that has a little power and pull to be saying at a time like this, at a climate like this, just like they doing with Malik and I'm pointing out Poppy and shit, right? That you was a person that was attacking the minister and doing this and that at a time where they saying the Jews is attacking them and this and that, and you might be sent by them or some government organization and stuff. You don't want that. You want to smooth that issue over real quick. As the Bible said, agree with your adversary quick, lest he put you in bonds and do this and that. That come from the Holy One of Israel itself, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So just a word of advice from me. Get whoever you got to get. Shit, have your camera live streaming until you get into a certain room or whatever. Cut it off and stuff so you can make it in there. If you're afraid, make it in there safely. Do what you got to do. Shit, have that camera back on and leave up out of there safely. But make peace where if peace can be possible. Shit, because shit is getting hot out here on these streets. Hassan, I suggest you take your pride and you Mr. Badass and you know what I'm saying? See if you can get a sit down with the minister. He obviously his people and him don't see you as a important ass figure to be dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to put your focus on Minister Louis Farrakhan and kept your focus on Afrika Bambaataa Bay, then you wouldn't have your ass in hot water because you would have been focusing on Afrika Bambaataa and you wouldn't have been focusing on other people because that's where your damn focus should have been at. Nigga, you should have said, by the end of this year, Bambaataa gonna be blah, blah, blah. But you forgave him. So how you gonna forgive him and then look for other people to now extract justice for you or punish him for you? Whether it be the government, the community, or anybody. But if your goal from your imaginary ass movement was to have Bambaataa locked up or so-and-so, then you would have had a goal and a plan and a direction, and you wouldn't have been sidetracking, talking about Nicki Minaj and Brother and Cardi B and you know, My Son and Troy Ave and you know, Taxstone and how many people? Shit, Sonetta, me, Tommy Sotomayor, shit, Pistol Pete, shit, how many names and different people you done called out? The list is so long. You wasn't focused on your goals, son, but you didn't have a goal. And now you look very questionable that you might have been sent by them people. Because you done did and said some things over the internet that the average person would probably be in court, locked up and everything else over. And I mean, you done got away scot fucking free. You see what I'm saying? So, but let's listen now.
TQ to think I'm talking down to you. We're not going nowhere without you. You are some of the most brilliant of our
Check. Okay. Damn, the whole computer froze up. All right, let's get back to business.
Have you seen this commercial? If you take this pill and you find out that you're developing breasts, stop taking it immediately. Just a pill. Dang, that's chemistry for you. These are masters of chemistry.
So that's what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been exposing. Matter of fact, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan also spoke out against Obama when he accepted the same-sex marriage.
He's older than time itself. You mean to tell me he doesn't have a right to tell you how to live the life that he gave you? Are you telling me that his sovereignty is nothing? That what society says means more than what God says? And Reverend, synagogue leader, Catholic priest, is this the book that you say you believe in? But now you're backing down from an aspect of it because people will get offended? You got Muslims now. I don't know how the hell they could call themselves Muslim. And they're involved too. You know damn well they're not Muslim. They were set up by the enemy to create confusion in the rights of the righteous. Here's Newsweek magazine with President Obama on the cover with the colors that represent the gay community as a halo over his head, and it's saying the first gay president. Now you think they're not mocking him? The first gay president. I've never heard from Michelle that our brother, you know, yes, sir, was absent from duty, but he's the first president that sanctioned what the scriptures forbid. Why is it that all you politicians take your oath of office on the Bible? If the book is no good, what the hell are you using it for? To take an oath of office to uphold not the Bible, but the Constitution. But the Constitution comes out of their recognition of the value of this book.
Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan has never changed his stance on this. What he's basically saying is, I love my brother, but I do not love what you're doing. I love you, brother. I love you, sister, and I'm going to, as a man of God, and I'm going to, as a brother, going to try to redeem you and give you as much information as I can, but I'm not accepting that lifestyle. So Poppy's saying he's supporting homosexuality and he's a hypocrite. Brother, you are false, brother. That is incorrect. You have never seen the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said, I'm okay with what you doing, brother. Keep on doing that, brother. Don't let them judge you, brother, because it's okay with you. Show me one video. Comment in the comment section and show me one video of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan saying homosexuality is right. Show me one video. Show me one lecture. Show me one Facebook post, one tweet of the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said living that homosexuality life is okay. We'll be here waiting forever because you can't find it because it ain't out there. When we wake up to the knowledge of self that he's been giving us, that's when we'll change. We can't keep blaming this community and what's going on in the black community on him. He's only one man. Yes, he's powerful, but he's powerful when you listen. It's just like us saying, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Well, yeah, knowledge can be power, but that's only half of the equation. You can have the knowledge, but if you're not acting upon that knowledge, then it's not powerful. I can know that there's a fire around the corner. I can know that there's traffic on 35, but if I don't veer off and get on 20 instead, and I get on 35, ain't nothing powerful about that. I'm going to be stuck in the same situation that everybody else in, even though I had the knowledge. So the minister is powerful. The minister is reforming people, but you have to listen to what he has been saying. What I want to do also is show this other clip. This other clip, he tried to compare the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to Dr. York, and he said that the minister hasn't done anything. He brought up the Million Man March, how the minister somehow got 20 million because there was 1 million people there and everybody probably bought something to drink and everybody probably bought something to eat. So that's 20 million right there. First of all, brother, I don't know if you ever thrown an event. I don't know if you know anything about economics, and you seem like a smart brother. You get on YouTube and all that type of stuff. But what I'm saying,
it seems like a smart brother. You get on YouTube. Being he went Chappelle. He went Richard Pryor on him. He went there. He slick dissed him. He slick dissed him. You seem like a smart brother. You get on YouTube and stuff. I guess you got to be smart to be able to find
you cannot possibly believe that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan profited $20 million. You think every time somebody bought a drink that went straight to the minister? You think every time somebody bought a shirt that went straight to the minister? You think every time somebody bought a bean pie that went to the minister? What kind of logic are we using right here? And do we understand that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan used a lot of his money to throw these events? So just because a brother may make some money, that don't mean that that's what he profited. Matter of fact, the same argument came in 1995. What did he do with the money? And he got all this money and he didn't do nothing and he didn't do. Well, how much did it cost to put the event on? Bring the actual facts. You always talk about truth and falsehood. Bring us the whole truth. Write down what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam had to pay to put that out there. How much was the Jumbotron? How much was it to rent out that whole entire space? Put out the whole actual facts, and then let's see what he profited, and then let's see what he used to do it. Matter of fact, you can go online and look at the audit report of every single dime that was used and that was made from the Million Man March.
Let's take Dr. York, and let's take Farrakhan. Dr. York actually, being that he's still a pedophile in my eye, copped out to it, so there ain't no negotiating and none of the rest of that. Copped out to it, and on top of that, his medical record showed that he gave them children herpes. Now let's move right along. Farrakhan had a Million Man March, and at that Million Man March, everybody bought some water, hot dogs, t-shirts. Make a long story short, just to get something to eat, you spent like $20. That's 20 million right there. I ain't going to even go into the longer than that. I'm pretty sure he got paid from the business and everything else. He got paid from everything. Same with Mayweather do. We go to Vegas. Now you want to tell me this man had a Million Man March, and in the process of him getting all that money, he ain't build out one school. He ain't open up no land like Dr. York did. Dr. York went to land upstate New York in Atlanta and moved his community. Hey, Farrakhan has nothing to show for the money that Gaddafi gave him, but for the money that Castro gave him throughout the years, for the money that the people gave him. Farrakhan is really an empire. We have not gotten revenge for not one black death or Farrakhan's watch. The only thing we get is a lecture, the bean pot. Eat that.
He said we haven't got revenge for one black death.
An empire. We have not gotten revenge for not one black death or Farrakhan's watch. The only thing we get is a lecture, the bean pot. Eat that shit.
Then he brought up this, that he has no schools. The Nation of Islam has a school.
Goddamn, Ben, that's the one you missed. That's the one you missed. We haven't got revenge for one black death. That sound like B.I.E. shit to me, dog. That sound like B.I.E. shit. We got revenge under Farrakhan. What the fuck? That's the same thing he was saying to Jay Prince Jr. and Wack 100 and shit. Them brothers the other day. Revenge? Why is it always a nigga trying to psych somebody else up to do something? If you feel something should be done in the Bambaataa or any situation, why don't you get your ass up and do it, nigga? Fuck you. Oh, you a boss. You like Bambaataa. You could put a hit out on somebody and send the crony to do it. Yeah. Put a hit out on them. You go get them. I'm a boss. I ain't got to do nothing. People, the hypocrisy of this brother Hassan Campbell and the acts that he created has helped create this atmosphere of Jews, young Pharaoh, and Malik Zulu Shabazz, if that's the way they feel. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, what Malik Zulu Shabazz doing may have not been looked at in such an offensive way if these other brothers hadn't raised the goddamn climate in the community up to the point where people like, what the fuck? Y'all attacking the minister? And you got the Jews attacking them now? Nigga, defend Farrakhan. Don't attack them. And if you attacking them with the Jews, is you working for the Jews? Should we have to defend him against you and the Jews now? Well, that's the climate we in, people. And I'm going to tell you, it started with Hassan Campbell. And he said he ain't bagging up. And like I said, he stated, I ain't found the evidence yet to do it and this and that. But he stated that Farrakhan was saying he didn't want to deal with him because he was working with them people, as Brother Shep said, or whatever the ex-Black Panther that said that nigga was working with the government from the beginning. Well, people didn't want to fuck with him. And they was trying to do that until he said, as he said in that same press conference, right, that if they didn't take snitch off of his name, he would start snitching and he would bring those cases up that don't have a statute of limitation on it. Now, what cases do you know don't have a statute of limitation on it that he was threatening to bring up and even start snitching against the Nation of Islam if they didn't take that term snitch off his name? People, there's a lot of shit out here, but y'all know me. I'm the community historian and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching this shit, been watching this shit, trying to stop a lot of this shit from going on. But you know, it's just little old me. That's like now I'm over here trying to fight and everything, and I ain't got shit. What? I got at best, how many subscribers I got over here? Niggas flagged my channel. You know what I'm saying? They went to the white man on me. Or whoever on YouTube. The white man, the Jew, the ADL, and whatever. They went to the censors. I got 437 people. I'm over here on the little channel now. You know, my big channels, you know, the niggas flagged me. Trying to stop progress, thinking they gonna stop my money and shit. It ain't about money, son. I told you. It's about dealing with the atmosphere of the community and being able to make it rain or make it snow or make it sunny and shit. And I ain't talking about throwing no dollars. I'm just talking about controlling the climate, the atmosphere. You feel me? So, people, once again, I know you're gonna have your critics. I know Hassan gonna cry and shit. She nigga trying to line me up with the Nation of Islam and all that. Nah, I ain't trying to line you up, nigga. You lined yourself up. Be the next one to make this video if he didn't feel like he had just cause to make it. If you wouldn't have went to Sarnetta and tried to act like you the super duper Zulu boss that you is, or you claim that you are, you know, the realest, illest killer to ever come out of Bronx River, ready to be martyred for whatever the fuck you want to be martyred for, you Andrew Cunanan ass nigga. Hey, you wouldn't be in this situation. But you made your bed. You made your bed. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to insert yourself. That's like me. Now, some adverse shit come because I inserted myself in this situation, and people like, nigga, you was a busybody and other man matters. Then I got to deal with whatever I got to deal with. But I ain't trying to deal in other men matter. I'm just trying to show how Hassan, 9 out of 10, is everything that they said he was in the beginning. And he's only here to cause confusion and shit. The Hegelian dialect is being played on us big time. The, you know what I'm saying, control opposition shit is, I mean, next level and shit. All of this shit, you know what I'm saying? You could just see how people call themselves being against him in the beginning, and now everybody got him back in this camp, giving them mercenaries and giving them power. Tommy Sotomayor calling into a show and shit. I thought y'all niggas was enemies. I'm sounding like him now when he was on that Sonetta. How can y'all let that nigga on your show? Now all of a sudden you cool with everybody that you was beefing with. You cool with Michael Ellis. Get that nigga a motherfucking wrench. You cool with Sonetta. You cool with Tommy Sotomayor. You just cool with everybody that you was beefing with. You still cool with Bambaataa and shit. Because you forgave him. You know what I'm saying? But it's fuck Farrakhan, ain't it, Hassan? He owe you an apology. You can't be cool with him. You can't forgive him. It's still the death of KRS-One children and shit. And all of that stuff. Yeah, nigga, don't be quick to back down. What Nas them say in the Brave Hearts? I know you're tight. You quick to back now. You say you weren't gonna back down. But we gonna see. You up there calling out them swoop whoop swoop brothers up in New York, whacking all of them and everything. Nigga, I know you following in the footsteps of Troy Terrain. Troy Terrain said he wanted to put heavy penis or P on DJ Envy daughter and stuff. So you went there with Kev Gills, say you want to put heavy penis and stuff on his son and his daughter and stuff. You're following in Star footsteps. I know what you're saying. The objective hater, he's making money off of people hating him and different things of that nature. You know, he did the Leah thing and all of that, talked about the police choking out Eric Garner. That's how he choked out Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation and stuff. He just, you know, he's disrespectful and he take people tragedies and different shit just like a lot of other people, Tommy Sotomayor and shit, this shock jock shit. You done learned the ways of the shock jock and all of that shit, and you want to threaten and do different shit and everything and think it's going to propel you in your quest to be a big time YouTuber. You got to remember, them people have signed themselves over to the devil network to do most of the shit they do. If you ain't in bed with the devil, then it ain't going to work for you. So if we keep watching and seeing this shit work for you, then that means you and Satan, you and the jinn, you're sleeping with the jinn. And that was the sin that did Jezebel in. You're sleeping with the jinn, my nigga. You in bed with them. So only the devil can help you prosper in the bullshit that you done brought to the community, my son. Since you shining like one, my son. You know what I'm saying? Keep on shining. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a star in the morning or a morning star? I guess you can do that. You want to imitate the star in the morning or the morning star? I guess you can do that. But keep sleeping with the jinn, my nigga. That's the only way you're going to win. When you break the oath and leave that jinn alone, ooh-wee. But that's it, y'all. I done had my fun this morning. I done had my lives. Put something on the mind of the people and shit. Try to change the climate of the community. You know what I'm saying? dealing with the climate. Before you change it, you got to deal with it. You got to step outside and say, ooh, it's cold. I don't like the cold. Sun, come out. Cold, go away. That's how you control the climate. So with that said, you know, I'm going to say peace.